Hi viewers, during this video I'm going to talk about Marina's Abramovic TED Talk, which was based on an art made of trust, vulnerability, and connection. So she started out with a story narration in which people and the audience, constantly, were blindfolded, and they started to hear her first project, which was based on a table with 76 objects, and all of them were for pleasure or for pain. After this, she started explaining and giving details about which were the objects, and which was a hammer, a water bottle, and a scissor, and a razor blade, and even a pistol with only one bullet. So, after that, she had like this paper in which she was given instructions, and she said that she was an object. She stated that she was an object, and you could do whatever you wanted to her, and she was the one taking full responsibility of it. It was a 6-hour project. And after it finished, she was surprised by the fact that everybody escaped and nobody took like the full like how can I explain this, like the full blame of whatever they did to her. They couldn't confront her as a normal human being. So after that, she was explaining what performance art was, in which she said that mental and physical construction, the performer makes in specific space and time in front of the audience using energy dialogue, which happens from the audience and the performance making a piece together. And she was trying to explain that she was staging fears in front of people, and that she acted up as a mirror, saying that if she could do it herself, why couldn't you do it? And it made people realize that you can confront every fear you wanted just by standing up and just accepting and pushing yourself to a limit in order to confront your fears and working on it. So after that, she gave like a full example of her life, and she stated how she met Ule, which was the love of her life, and they worked up making this project in which he had an arrow pointed to her heart, and she was supposed to be climbing up like to the back part of it. And she was explaining that you could only have worked with someone that you trusted enough. So after that, she explained that she found it out that they were peculiar people by the fact that they broke up in a very peculiar way. They climbed up the Great Wall of China for 3 months, and when they got up to the top, they broke up and they just stopped their feelings. After that, she worked in this picture, which was the Balkan Baroque, in which it was an image of herself washing on bones. And it was actually a project that lasted for 3 weeks, I guess. And this was about her washing the bones of big cows. And she explained how the smell was just disgusting and gross. And she said something really important that called up my attention, which was, you can't wash blood. You can never wash shame from the wars, which is right, because even though it happened a long time ago, it's still present in the time we are right now. After that, she explained something that changed her life, which was the MoMA performance. It was in New York, and it was about her sitting down in the middle of a museum, and people could just sit there and just stare. She sat down for 3 weeks, I guess, and it lasted up 6 hours each session. And she was surprised by the fact that people just sat there and they started to cry, they started to beg, and it was interesting by the fact that they didn't even know each other. And she found out that people were so isolated and they had so many depression in themselves, and they just couldn't bear the feeling by the fact that they didn't realize that they didn't give time for themselves. It was all consumed by technology and all other things that surrounded them. So after that, I could understand that immaterial and performance art is not normal art. I'm an artist, as you can see. And she said something important by the fact that art is something that stays in your walls every day. You can see it and it has no change. But performance art is based on experience, and it stays in your memory. And even though you want to erase it, it's so shocking that you can just erase all of these memories, really important memories that change your way of seeing the world. So she had a last project, which was the MAI project, the Marina Abramovic Institute. And it started out in Brazil, in which she has the certificate that you have to sign before going into that, which is a 6-hour experience, in which you have to be like in these 6 different chambers, which are you get involved in this magnet chamber, this crystal chamber, and it all was about laying down, sitting down, slow pace walking. And this was for us to understand that you have to go back to simplicity in order to understand yourself. And one of them was drinking water for 30 minutes, which is kind of weird, but it has a point. You are doing something you normally do for like a higher range of time, which you normally do. And it makes you understand like the mechanism that takes. So all of this project is to make people realize that we are changing so many things in ourselves and in our lives, for technology, for making our brains busy with fashion things, and we just forget that we have to give time for ourselves. And to conclude and to finish and sum up, human beings need a change, and it is all about personal level change, because we are so busy blaming all of the wars happening in the world, all of the hunger the countries are suffering of, and we don't stop for a second to realize that the change is in us, and we are the ones who have to make the change first in ourselves in order to make a bigger change in the world. So thank you for listening. This was Sidney Moncada for 1HAB.